paid up. We're now officially recording.
All right.
So we will get started shortly. So the I don't know if no. So basically the way it'll go, introduce ourselves. Everyone pretty much has their social tags up, but if you still want, if there's a different one you want to tag out, just let it be known. Mm-hmm. I'll do because this is the first episode, so I'll do like a brief synopsis of what this show actually is, and then we'll switch to topic intro, which will basically we will start off with what the main topic is, what the secondary topic is, which is Strange and Moon Knight. We will end the notes with paying our respects to both Neil Adams and George Perez. And then we will kick off with topic one, which is Multiverse of Madness. That will be the majority of the episode until we feel like we've said enough of what we feel we want to say. And then we'll not briefly, but we'll discuss a little bit of Moon Knight. And then we'll just wrap up everything and go from there. So, sound good, everybody?
Oh, sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Standard intros like we usually do on all the other podcasts?
Yeah, just straight standard. The more zany one will be for like the Ranger one when we do eventually.
That's gonna be interesting. I know you love meeting Jason Foss this weekend.
Oh man, no, it was good. Like I saw Joe and Nick, literally, that was a business venture. Like it was good seeing him again, but that was strictly like I was in line and this guy was like, "Yeah, I would love to go to Morphicon, but I won't be able to because it's so far away." And literally, I'm in like halfway through the line. I just was like, "So there might be one in Nashville next year soon." And Jason was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I walked up, like, "Yeah, I was dead serious. Like, there's gonna be one next year here, So working on that. So it was literally from the moment I got there, a full-blown business venture, and then I bounced.
So I'm gonna need you to do that in a Kingpin fashion with the accent, with the rose. So just for the re-edit, just go back and I just need the.
What are you talking about? Wilson Fisk ain't Kingpin no more. Now we got Butch.
Strollers from beyond.
Wilson got in that boat and sailed away. He's done with New York.
All right, so we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? It's Shadow King, and welcome to the first episode of Freaks and Geeks Podcast. I am joined by my panel of bros, and we'll go with the guy to my right, left, Casually Cosplay. Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? This is Casually Cosplaying. IG and Twitch also Casually Cosplaying. Twitter is Casual Cosplay IN. You can find me all on that. I'm actually about to start streaming on Twitch within the next week or so. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
That's it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
and below us, you know him, you love him, from the Get Bit podcast and from Straight Out of the Box. Introduce yourself, guys.
Let me think. Traveling through the paint universe, and boy, are my brushes tired. It's me, Joe Tonello.
I saw that coming.
I knew it was
I saw that.
Well, it was either that or I've been through 8,000 universes. Only 2 of them had free food. Hopefully they're both Taco Bell.
Oh my goodness, that was great.
Oh,
and last but certainly not least.
Oh, I'm the guy that Joe breaks on every intro. So
this is why he keeps me around, though, so
Oh God. Aside from that, guys, what's up, guys? I'm Will. Also on Instagram is Blackbox447. Of course, my co-host right next to me. We usually have a thing called the Get Bit Podcast. Links are in the bio and my IG, so definitely check us out. And happy to be here on the maiden voyage of Freaks and Geeks with the man, the myth, the man who I live vicariously through, because who else can sit there and film beautiful women and it's not a thing? I know, just a humble brag, Shadow, just humble brag.
Oh man, I am so glad you guys are here. So my official co-host, Crystal, She will not be here with us tonight, but she is the official co-host of Freaks and Geeks. We is a partner that we came together with, and right now she gave our blessing to just go full blown nerd. We're sticking strictly to geeky this time because today's topics, as you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to enter the multiverse of madness and talk about Doctor Strange 2, baby, and a little bit of Moon Knight in there too. And so those will be our two topics. But before we get started, we want to have a moment of silence and pay respects for two absolute legends in the comic book industry. Rest in peace to Neil Adams and George Perez. We'll have a quick moment of silence for them. So I mean, some classic stories and characters wouldn't even be here without those two.
Right.
I need someone to please go check on Jose Garcia Lopez before anything else happens.
We don't need a third. Please no.
Death has already had some momentous 2018s and
man,
let's not start that mess again.
Man. But yeah, so I mean,
we lost the father of Modern Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The father of let me think. John Stewart.
Yep.
Nightwing.
The reason why Oliver Queen is so left. The reason why Hal Jordan is so racist.
Yep.
Well, that was a whole plot point in Hard Traveling Heroes. I'm not doing that to be petty this time.
No.
We laugh because we know it's true.
We know it's true.
I want to be petty. We could talk about Hal Jordan's dating age range.
You know what? I'm going to do an episode and just let Joe come on and just rail. Just rail and rant on Hal. It'll be a whole hour episode. I'll be like, hey, Joe. Hey, guys, we're here. Joe, do your thing.
No, what we need to do is have me on when we review the Green Lantern, the animated movie.
Then
I can just point and laugh when Hal dies.
Okay. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, may they rest in peace and power. We thank them for all the amazing characters, all the amazing stories. Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, come on.
I'm one of the only people ever to upset George Perez while working with him.
Yeah. One of the most iconic Batman looks, for almost a decade. I mean, we didn't have what we have today without these two legends in the comic industry. So thank you guys. Rest in peace. You will be truly missed.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, let the madness begin. Holy crap, guys. So Doctor Strange.
So let me see one thing real quick. I saw the best meme ever. It's a picture of a Trojan horse being brought in to a castle. It goes MCU. The doorman is Kevin Feige. The one holding the Trojan horse is Sam Raimi. The Trojan horse is labeled Doctor Strange too. Inside the whole Trojan horse, it's just labeled Evil Dead 4.
and I'm not mad about it. I am not.
As a diehard fan of the Evil Dead trilogy, we don't talk about the reboot. Just personally me.
No, the reboot is fine.
I wasn't a fan of it.
The reboot is a reboot of Evil Dead 1, which was an actual horror movie. Evil Dead 2 is what started the comedy horror.
Which I love. I love both, but just I was not the biggest fan of the reboot and the fact of trying to get rid of Ash until the after credit. So, long story short, as a fan of the trilogy and the TV series Ash vs. Evil Dead, anything Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell does, I will love.
That's just gold waiting to happen.
Yeah,
that's just pure gold.
Yeah.
I want to see how many times they got hit on that set because, Sam Raimi is notorious for beating on his actors.
Oh, God.
If you've ever seen the Spider-Man extras, you see Tobey Maguire getting hit in the head with that tote bag.
That backpack and everything. That's so
a rolled up piece of newspaper off screen.
So Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. This is the official sequel to Doctor Strange. But of course, it is one of, I want to say we're up to 4 parts of the multiverse saga now.
Give or take. Yeah,
give or take. So, I mean, this is just continuing the story and breaking I mean, the multiverse was already there. It was hinted at. It was nods and pieces, but this is just fully taking my fist and making a star portal and breaking up the multiverse and finally being able to enter it and see just how bad shit crazy this is. And yeah, literally, I went to work that night and someone was like, "How was it?" Like, bro, literal madness.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? No. Stop talking and listen to what I said. It's literal madness. You will enjoy it. Go see it.
Right.
So I mean, Doctor Strange wakes up from this vision. He comes and finds out that it's actually not a vision or a dream. It's him peering into the multiverse, as we discover with some dialogue later. He meets America Chavez, and this leads him on a nice journey going against a fellow Avenger of all things, leading into the multiverse of madness. And we're just going to hop right into the spoilers. First things first, Wanda freaking Maximoff.
Oh, I was going to say sit her up.
Can I say scary? Because
yes.
Scary.
Yes. Like, if you had the best person to direct the witch version of Scarlet Witch, we got the right person. That scene of her coming out of the gong, oh my god.
Right.
Oh,
I laughed so hard at that.
Like, I was like, yo, like, this is like, holy crap. And then
it's exactly what we wanted to be. It was horror. I mean, even the line we sit there and heard so many times rehashed in trailers, you reshape, you reshape the multiverse, you're called the hero. I did the same thing and I'm the villain. That doesn't seem fair. And I'm like,
and for so long, everyone was like, oh, it won't just be Wanda. It'll be like a misunderstanding, and then it'll be like Nightmare. It'll be someone else. Like, no, bro. As soon as she mentions America's name when Strange comes to visit her, and she thinks like, oh, wait, you didn't tell me her name. And she just drops it. I was like, yo.
The facade was dropped. That facade got dropped quick.
I was like, yo, okay, so we're going this route fully. So,
But you have to shout out to Agatha. You have to shout out to Agatha because
she called it.
He sat there and said the entire time, when you get the Darkhold, you will find out the true identity of the Scarlet Witch. Even more so, it's going to show you your true nature. And she tried to say, "Well, I'm a good person." You remember what Agatha said? You like to think so. That's like, you're a good person.
Wanda, you literally just held an entire town by the nutsack in a hex for like days or even months. Good is out the window, baby. I'm sorry. I know you suffered, and it's a lot. And literally, we can do an entire video on her journey. I actually plan to do that, like the arcs and journeys of characters like Thor and Scarlet Witch. But baby, you held an entire town ransom. You built fake versions of your husband and kid that never existed. Good is kind of
good left
a while ago, and but yeah, no, her and a lot of fans are mad. I'm like, did you guys not know that this was the plan all along?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No more mutants.
House
of M.
Like.
Well, that's the thing, though. This is what I was sitting there saying the entire time. And Joe, me and Joe both said this. People don't read comic books.
Ding, 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 ding.
People don't. And I'm like, if you read, and I said, I'm a big fan. I know we're in a room full of all comic book readers, so we all know reading is fundamental. But it amazes me half the time where you sit there and you see folks, I can't believe Wanda did this. Every comic book reader in theater is like,
it goes back to that Simpsons meme I made a joke about during the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, this is the worst thing Wanda's ever done. Casual MCU fan. Comic fan, this is the worst thing she's done so far.
So far. Yeah.
Wanda has a long history of mental instability. I mean, even during the Hercules leading let me rephrase this. The Black Knight leading the Avengers in the 90s, Wanda was
that's
having issues.
That's a deep cut,
Yeah.
bro. That's way back in the day.
That was
I mean, literally, I have the book.
Of course you do. It's you.
The Uber Dark Scarlet Witch, because that was the one that annihilated the entire. Didn't she wipe out the entire Avengers in that series?
The West Coast Avengers, where she just goes nuts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Which also, I'd just like to take this moment to say, go visit your local comic book shop.
Yes. If you're in Nashville, there's only one place you need to go. Rick's Comic City.
Yep.
Which this video is not brought to you by, but surely we will send you there regardless. Go read some comics.
And get educated, because
get educated.
As much as we want to teach, we are tired of having to go back and correct you people. We are tired of it.
I got like a whole bunch of different things to do instead of sitting here making a video why you need to read this comic book and why this characterization makes sense.
But the funny part is you mentioned that so many people were mad about Wanda's direction. And I'm like, and then they get mad at Sam Raimi. I'm like, first and foremost, he was perfect. He was perfect for this movie, and that Doctor Strange. I had to tell some people. I said, "You people are so." And I didn't mean to be offensive when I said this, but I can only be petty. But I was like, the problem with a lot of fair-going MCU fans is they compare everything to every Marvel movie being sunny and funny and blue skies and all this, and not understanding that Marvel has some darker storytelling. And as we can see, they are not afraid to start going the darker stories. It's about time to.
And we also mentioned the fact that Sam Raimi gave us something that I know a lot of film critics, which by that I mean Twitter film critics, claim, which is the fact that they always say that the color of the films in the MCU are very bland. They're very washed. Sam Raimi just gave us probably one of the most gorgeous movies.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Like it's up there with Guardians Volume 2. Volume 2 and Ragnarok. Like those are the two most colorful movies that I could think of out like just in the MCU alone.
It was right up there. Vibrant. That's what I called Doctor Strange. It was literally a gothic epic opera in visual colors. And I'm not mad about any of it. I loved every bit of the direction he went with that. But like you said, Twitter and Rotten Tomatoes and film critics are out there. It's like, oh, this, and that's what I tell people all the time. Never go by film critics. Film critics are paid to say this is bad. It's reverse advertising. If they say it's bad, people are going to go see it. If they say it's good, people are going to go say, well, why'd you say it's good? It must be bad. Literally reverse advertising. So, and again, it's like, and I'll always argue this. Name me one Marvel movie that actually did horrible. If you think about the current MCU, now hang on a second. Now, when I say horrible, I mean that it bombed, like early 90s Marvel live action television show bomb.
Like didn't make a profit.
Didn't make a profit, was just a train wreck from beginning to end. It would have to basically be Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, there's not a single MCU movie that has ever done anything like that.
Right. So that's the argument I always make. The argument
MCU adjacent is a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to think about it, I'll even take the least favorite. I will say Captain Marvel was probably the least favorite MCU movie, but it still did better than any DC movie outside of Shazam and Aquaman.
Yeah.
That's the level of the measure level of success, that the MCU's worst movie is still better than DC's best movie.
Yeah.
So it's like when you see Doctor Strange, it's like it's great because number one, it goes deeper into Strange lore. We see a lot more. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw the alternate Doctor Strange, I was like, "Are we doing What If?"
Right.
That's what I was thinking too. Surprising.
So, really quickly, we'll hop back into multiverse. But going back to Wanda's characterization, Sam said that he only watched maybe a couple key episodes. What they told him was needed to tie directly into this. And so, I mean, and honestly. Okay, he didn't need to watch all of WandaVision, But even if he didn't, I don't. Like, he watched the key scenes, her becoming the Scarlet Witch, the kids being born, why the heck started, stuff like that. So going into that, I feel like the direction he gave and everything that we saw for Wanda, for the character we know she is from the comics, I'm gonna say this is the best interpretation of Wanda since her debut in Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what they do with her further because, they crumbled on these buildings, rocks. You ain't dead.
There's a flash of like red magic. So.
We know how this works. You ain't dead.
She did not go honorable at the end. It's like I was like
because one, your husband technically is still out there. He's just all white now.
Yeah.
So that's a thing y'all can do. Two,
where's White Vision at?
Right. Two, now you have to redeem yourself. And three, Secret Wars is coming. So yeah. We're gonna need somebody like WandaVision back on the lunchbox on the good side to help with that.
And the long story, House of M. House of M is still that long ball story.
Right. So Will was mentioning the different stranges. Let's hop right into the multiverse. The different characters, the different people playing different characters, the multiple stranges, the multiple Wandas. First of all, Defender Strange looks slick. Like, I like the uniform. The ponytail was great. And how they utilized him towards the end, we'll get to that in a little bit. That was hype. That was really hype. Yeah. But like, just go, like, people were mad that we didn't get different versions of all the characters we've seen from like X-Men, Blade, and I'm like, that's what Secret Wars is for. That's what Secret Wars is for. Calm down, it's coming. Shut up and enjoy this Doctor Strange movie.
Iron Man, Tom Cruise.
Oh my god! So many people were like, They said no, they didn't. You assumed. You assumed that Maria Rambeau, who was sitting there kicking ass for like half a second, was superior. Shut up. Stop talking. But yeah, so I mean, just hopping in the multiverse, that whole scene where after Wanda decimates Carmitage, like,
rest in peace.
Like, literally just like, oh, I don't need the gauntlet, just boom, you go. Decimates, and Strange in America are falling through the star portals, and that montage, that scene is so visually appealing.
Right.
Like, just the little bits we got in the trailer didn't do it justice. Like, seeing it all the way through every single universe, letting Tribunal
for 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Letting Tribunal call out the Paint universe, the old-timey 1940s.
Yeah,
2099.
That
animated.
That future Stark-esque looking one with Stark drones. Like, just tiptoeing through that's literally what was dipping our toes into the just vastness of what we could possibly get. Like, What If gave us, but like, this is just the that's kind of cold.
So,
but I like it.
So, question here, and this is jumping ahead in the movie. When America holds Wanda over the lava planet, do we think it's Mustafar again because they've already done that joke once?
They
did, and
or do you think it's Limbo?
I want to say Limbo. If it's Mustafar again, cute. That's fine, cool. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're trying to get stuff set up, and having Limbo set up would make having magic and everything that comes with.
As long as they get Anya Taylor-Joy to come back as her.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually did look it up. The lowest performing Marvel movie out of all of them is Captain America.
Which Avenger?
Which it
the very first one.
Sense.
I love that movie.
It's a classic, but it makes sense because
I'm also biased because I do like war movies. So
no one thought it was.
So worldwide gross was $370 million. That is the lowest total box office of the entire franchise. Is Captain America: First Avenger?
How much did it take to make it?
$140 million.
Okay, so it still came out of profit.
And what Will said is absolutely true because that movie,
Mm-hmm.
compared to anything from DC,
I do say it was, I can say successfully, because DC, to their credit, and I'm a DC fan, they did have 2 successful movies. Shazam and Aquaman were 2 successful movies. So I can't. And what?
Are we? This is strictly DCEU. You're talking,
right?
You know, Captain Marvel is actually in one of the higher brackets.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel though.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the movie, but I'm also a sucker for 90s. So
I can't wait for Monica, and then that's all I'm gonna say about that. But back to so yeah, and we stop the montage train, and we end the universe. Was it 883 or 838?
838.
838.
A couple of things I do want to talk about before we jump into that. First off, I was surprised how quickly they dropped the pretense for Wanda.
Yeah,
it was like in the first 15 minutes, she's immediately the antagonist. I thought it would have been like we get the demon Sidorak in the opening of the thing.
Yeah,
we get not Shuma Gorath.
Gargantos.
In the opening of the thing, I was thinking like maybe we toss one more monster out of it, and then we figure out Wanda's behind it. I don't know when to go. We'll go with that.
That's honestly that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
And so
then Strange figures out it's Wanda, but like the fact that she just dropped the pretense and they just pointed every finger at her. Me was like it's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that though.
No, I liked it. I was just surprised how quickly they just leapt into it. Yeah. I thought there would have been like one more demon or one more monster before it like figured it out.
To add to that, there's a total of almost 45 minutes of this movie that was cut.
Yeah, it would have been a 3-hour movie.
This would have been an almost 3-hour movie, but they cut it to be 2 hours and 6 minutes.
And then the other thing I want to talk about real quick that we were talking about was some of the controversy, because now a lot of people are wondering if this should have been rated R. And so, I'm like, no, first off, this is a Sam Raimi movie. Right. Sam Raimi movie, this is actually very tame in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, we do see people being literally torn to shreds. Yes, we do see someone being bisected. Yes, we do someone seeing essentially get shotgunned to the head skull.
Yeah, but
we don't actually see, they are not the Sam Raimi versions. They are the MCU versions of these things.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest,
I guarantee you, if we're lucky enough, there will be an R-rated Sam Raimi cut.
Oh, please, yes, please.
But the thing about this, we kind of already seen beheadings. We saw that back in Endgame where Thor took Thanos' head off. And
Doctor Strange. I mean, there's a beheading there, and so
like to define what a Sam Raimi rated R would be. Go watch the Evil Dead trilogy. Like you have somebody puking blood, to a point where it's gallons.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't have a tree sexually molest anybody, so that's
not that. That's thank goodness. I mean, we got kind of close with the Sidorak monster and the way he was holding.
He kind of wrapped his legs and almost became
like, no, stop right there. Don't move. Don't you go over the wrench.
Once the tickles got around the ankles, it's like, wait.
But yeah, so yeah, we hop into basically, which is a version of Utopia. It's not the actual Utopia, but this is basically a modern Utopia. It's 838, and right off the bat, man, let's just go ahead and just dive right into it. The freaking Illuminati. Now, everyone initially thought, myself included, that this was going to be set up to be like a multiversal Illuminati.
Yeah.
But I'm actually glad that we got it set to just one universe, because that opens up the possibility for these characters to come back later on in other universes.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart actually did now say he had so much fun doing this, he wouldn't mind coming back again.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that he is getting up there in age that, like, God forbid.
Well, I know.
86 years old.
Let the man chill in a yellow chair.
Yeah, sure.
Right. But
I want to sit there and say that because he's in a wheelchair that it actually benefits him.
But how about like, God forbid we get another situation like where somebody passes, like Chadwick Boseman. Are you going to recast Professor X now?
Yeah,
just call James
McAvoy.
Yeah, just call James.
Yeah, just call him. Just McAvoy. McAvoy is the perfect stand-in.
So, like, there are some fun things in the Illuminati that I noticed. Like when Charles comes in, we get the X-Men theme.
The 90s
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah.
No, here's the interesting thing. That is not the classic 90s theme.
No, it's the
It is.
97
That is the
thing.
theme for the new animated series coming out.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
look
You
at
read the credits, it
X-Men
says 97.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and let's go over the roster. So,
Black Bolt, I do want to shout out that it is the same actor from that god awful Inhuman series.
Show,
Yep.
And all they had to do was put him in a comic accurate costume, and I'm instantly forgiving that man.
Pretty much. So we got Black Bolt. We've got
Mordo,
Captain freaking Carter.
Yeah.
With a jetpack. I want to know if she knows the Rocketeer.
We got Baron Carl Mordo.
Is she in the officers' wives clubs with the Rocketeer's wife? Does she know that woman?
Just not good lawyers involved.
Maybe.
I guess you would call him also.
They're both
be
Disney
Mordo
properties.
Supreme, right?
Yeah. So he is the Sorcerer Supreme. So Mordo Supreme. Of course, Charles. Charles
we're
Xavier.
calling him what he is. His name is Carl.
What's up, Carl? We got
Charles
Xavier, and next to him we've got Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel. I was so hyped for that. And then last but certainly not least, like we said earlier, John Krasinski, who we've been dancing around for years with Marvel.
Politely, excessively asked. We did not bully.
Please.
And once that little square thing popped up and it just rose and rose and rose, you saw that face. In my theater, I was like, yeah!
We were all
we were so
I was grabbing my buddy. I was like, no way, no.
So
my poor fiance, I was bouncing in my seat like a big ass kid, like
it's happening! It's happening! Oh my god! And of course, the final member who we find out the truth about, it was their Doctor Strange. So that actually begs a question. With Mordo replacing Strange, there's still an empty seat on that council.
In that council?
Wait, well,
it's probably Black Panther, and they just didn't want to put anybody.
That's what I was thinking too.
Or maybe it's Sue.
No, they would have given us because they would have given us Sue right off the bat.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's probably Black Panther, and they just didn't want to put any other face in that thing. The only other one that probably would have been socially acceptable by the MCU would have been Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
And since he's filming Creed 3, The Revenge of Clubber Lang.
That's still funny. How many Creed
I love the Rocky movies. So
yes, they're awesome. Well, yeah, so we got a full Illuminati. Now it's not stated in the movie, but the way they handle the Illuminati in this universe is like that they're basically that universe's Avengers, or either they are just the leaders of most of those teams, and those full teams do exist in the universe, but they are the ones who handle the majority of the problems.
And hold on, and I have one more idea of who it could be. It could just be Namor, and Namor's just like, I'm not fucking with you guys.
That's about right.
Well, there was no other person in that flashback scene, because once Charles comes out, after Strange does his bit with Blackguard Bolt again, and just like Captain Carter was like, yo, he's so damn arrogant. Like, he's even arrogant than our Strange. What? Like,
right.
He was just doing his bit, and I love it. But Charles comes out and he's like, yeah, we need to tell him the truth. That shot from the trailer. And everyone's like, oh, what could it mean? What could it mean? The truth. What's the truth? Well, the truth is there's Strange, who they fought against Thanos, was using the Darkhold to not peer through timelines to see how many times we win. He was dreamwalking into other universes to see how they could win. And with the Darkhold's influence slowly corrupting him, he caused what all of us knew exactly what was coming as soon as Reed Richards said it. an incursion.
Yep.
And I was like, yes.
Secret Wars.
Yes.
Yep.
So
keep saying Secret Wars, and over to me, I'm sitting there like, this has nothing to do with the Beyonder, and you guys don't know what
2015 Secret Wars.
Yeah.
But so he said that, and he's like, yeah, no, we can. Oh, and I love this. They call Strange arrogant, but like all Illuminati's across the multiverse, yeah. Do you think you guys can handle Scarlet Witch? Yeah, we can handle you, little witch, if she dream walks. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
You know what? I'm gonna have to rank this as the number. Well, on my top 5 of most disrespectful ass whoopers in the MCU.
Yes, absolutely.
I think this is a solid 3.
We'll get to it. So, and they're talking
all
to him
they needed to do was what the Illuminati tried to do in World War Hulk.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, just use Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's like, Penn Stare doesn't work on him. He's in the right. Read in the background. Shit.
Yeah. So, and then so they try to sentence him, but of course Wanda shows up, and okay, look, we've all seen Invincible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wanda Omni-Man Day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, so and I didn't realize how brutal it was. Like, I went back and watched it again, and like I read some videos. I didn't realize that when, first of all, Reed Richards, smartest man alive, shut up. Why would you tell your enemy that your partner?
Let me tell you my most powerful weapon.
Yeah,
right in front of you.
Yeah, what mouth? As soon as she pulled a Neo on him and took his mouth away, I didn't realize. Like, I thought she popped his head, but no, he tried to scream.
Yeah,
or say something. I didn't even realize that the first time.
That doesn't really work on himself, but
well, I mean, with no mouth, it had to go somewhere.
It had to go somewhere.
It showed the ripples on his mouth, and all you saw was that bloop, and blood.
Yeah, the R-rated version, there would have been a lot more blood.
Oh yeah, that head would have been. Bloop.
Yeah, that head.
I'm curious to see how many Black Bolt cosplayers end up putting some latex over their mouth.
Yes, that's really great. Wait, there are Black Bolt cosplayers?
I'm sure there are.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry. I'm sorry. That was me. But yeah, so it doesn't stop there, because then she goes like, "Hey, so you have kids?"
No, he tells her,
"Yeah,
hey, I'm a dad. I get this."
Do they have?
He just goes,
mom?
"Is their mom still alive?"
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah. It's like, okay, well then there's one left to raise him. Then literally just flays him strand by strand.
That was cold.
She ripped him apart like string cheese.
Yeah, and then that last little like a freaking bubble gum just popped. I was like, okay. And then both captains go on the offensive, and they last a little bit longer than their counterpart, than their friends.
I was gonna say the Captain Carter one I kind of saw coming. I mean, that was not a very creative kill on that end. I mean, it's like I was waiting for her to like blow up the jetpack, or
it was an homage to What If. It was an homage to What If episode, I think 4.
Yeah, where Bucky throws the shield back
where Bucky did Cap like that, but zombie Cap. So it was an homage to that. And there are several like homages and like repeated phrases in this, which I love. We'll probably get to later. But I mean, yeah, that was like because honestly, that's all she had to do was just take the thing, add a little bit more force to it, and it's done.
It was almost like she toyed with it. It's almost like Wanda toyed with her a little bit. She's like, I'm done.
I want to enjoy this.
Yeah, we got the classic sign, and we got Captain Carter saying it for the first time. I can do this all day. Which
Professor X.
Haley Atwell.
Ooh.
I saw a tweet like literally right before we started recording, and I was dying laughing. It was the guy said, "Just met Haley Atwell today. I totally understand why Steve Rogers did everything he did."
Yeah, absolutely.
That goes without saying.
It goes without saying, yeah.
Here's Steve.
And now she's got to beat up a little bit. Yeah.
I travel through the timeline as well.
Oh man.
Now, before we move on to moving away from the Illuminati and giving them the RIP, the moment of silence that they deserve.
Yeah.
I'd like to focus a little bit more on Reed and John Krasinski. So I'm going to grab my camera here. Hey, Marvel, listen, this is my petition. Can we please keep John Krasinski for the 616 version? Thank you.
I'm still iffy on that numbering. Only because it's just been so long since they've actually I get what you're going for, but
it's main canon. They want to call it 616. It makes sense.
And then of course, Monica, of course, not Monica, Maria last the longest, but was Wanda draining her power?
I think
that's what it implied.
Kind of bringing it back.
It kind of like she reflected it back at her. Yeah. I would say draining was more like collecting it and sending it back.
Yeah. To me, it felt like she was letting her exhaust herself just to weaken her.
Yeah. And then she pushed her back and crushed her with the statue. And then of course Professor X.
Yeah.
That was so brutal.
Which I also just noticed this. Everybody thought she snapped his neck. She ripped his head in half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was literally
she grabbed him by the jaw. And
it was like literally all you saw was if you go back and watch it, you'll just know that it just shows one face like this, but one like this, and it's so fast that you don't see it.
That's brutal.
So it's literally like watch. It's almost like he did a peacock. Like part was like if you imagine his face, one half of the face went that way, and he's still staring at you.
Yeah, I mean, his jaw went.
Yeah,
and
can we? Was so quick, wasn't even funny.
Can we appreciate that the MCU is doing accurate, accurate mind show? Like, okay, it started in No Way Home, where you can finally see the little squiggies of Spider-Man's spider sense, and then in this, just like 90s the show, you see the little rings of him doing his mind, and I was like, yes!
And the yellow chair.
Yes, like that was so basically Patrick Stewart is basically cosplaying as the 90s, the chair, the suit, the tie. It's all the exact same colors of what we grew up with in the 90s show and what we're going to get in the 97 series. So I'm really excited for that. They're all dead now.
Thoughts on Reed's costume? Because I've heard mixed reviews.
Oh, I loved it. It was cool.
I loved it too. A lot of people were saying that it was overly panelized and stuff, and trying to make it more modern.
People don't understand. Marvel plays chess. They throw it out there to go ahead and put them out there and say, "This is what you asked for. Now you're getting it." And it's like, it's like you get those fans out there. It's like, why do you have to Star Wars Kylo Ren everything? Why can't we just enjoy it?
Yeah. And also, it's the multiverse. So, notice how every Strange had a different costume.
Oh, yeah.
So, Reed might have a different costume in the Fantastic Four movie.
I also like that Strange pointed out, weren't you back in the 60s?
Yeah.
You guys
didn't you chart in the 60s?
Yeah, chart. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which makes me think, can we please get the pitch that I've been wanting of 1960s Fantastic Four in the space race? They steal a spaceship, go through a black hole, end up in present day.
Yeah.
That would be so. I hope you patent that. I hope you patent that actual scene set up, because if you see it, you're gonna be mad.
Well, so there already is a pitch.
Please.
I think it was Scott Derrickson or somebody, but
it was Peyton Reed, I think.
Yeah,
right?
It's already a pitch for that, but not that specific scene. But before we bounce off the Illuminati, we're going to preface this with that wasn't the What If Captain Carter.
No.
Because
this is the third Captain Carter, because
I was going to say the comics version.
There's What If Captain Carter, there's the comic book Captain Carter, there's a different one altogether.
Yeah.
And now there's this one.
I was going to say this was going to be the comics one, because that run just started and we don't know how it's going to end. But I mean, if this is a third one, then that's cool with me too. Honestly, it was just amazing to see Haley Atwell bring that character to life.
Yeah.
in live action. And
also, shout out to everybody that was on the Illuminati. Every theater yelled for you.
Yeah,
I know every theater I was in was deafening when we saw the Illuminati come up, and then you see Patrick Stewart come up, and then you saw Dark Krasinski come up, and it's just like we're good.
Like,
it's like we're good. It's like
what I would like for them to be in like the final battle and to help Strange out. Yeah, but what we got
was perfect.
Yeah, because that bled into more of the. First of all, I love that the blood that was stained on her wasn't actually blood; it was Ultron bots. Which she kills more Ultrons. That's even more cathartic because hey, you killed my brother. I'm killing all y'all.
I was shitting on that part. You came through like Carrie before the prom.
Yeah, and like just first of all, we haven't even rewinding back to the fact that this Wanda isn't our Wanda. This is the Wanda of 838 who she dream walks into and possesses. And that look of her just turning to the camera and looking directly at us. Chills. But the way she basically brutalizes this Wanda who gets hit with all kinds of blasts and mind blasts. And then I think at some point she steps on glass, so she's like limping. And that scene of her chasing Strange, America, and Rachel.
Oh yeah, through the bunkers.
That's pure Jason Michael horror. Just like
slow walking, but the victims are running full speed. Yeah,
man, that was excellent horror elements. I just loved. That was so great.
It still doesn't beat. I'm sorry. I got to do one better. I had to go back to Carmitage when they thought they thought you had her trapped in the mirror dimension upon mirror dimension.
So dope.
And she literally sees a water reflection and goes, yoink. and it's just like it's like every reflection. I'm like, that to me was a stroke of genius. It's like, she's coming through the reflections. I'm like, what she just pretty much said? She just pretty much said, F your mirror dimension. I'm gonna do what I want.
So you didn't realize that that is some Marvel trailer trickery because the mirror dimension in the trailer showed Steven in there.
Yeah.
I only watched the first two.
One of the needles, one of the mirror needles was going slowly towards his eye.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that one. I only watched the first two trailers and I didn't watch any other ad spots or stuff. Like if it came on TV, I was like, yeah, nope.
I still say.
Now, I have a question specifically about America Chavez because I don't know too much about this. Yeah. Is America part of the Young Avengers?
Yes.
Okay.
Later.
So then this is
Karen Gillan run of Young Avengers.
Okay. Yeah. So this really is building pretty much the entire future of the MCU going. You have the Illuminati. You have all these different like Inhumans, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and then you have America Chavez representing the Young Avengers. It's all right there.
I don't think we're getting the Young Avengers. I think we're starting to lean towards all new, all different Avengers because all new, all different had the young heroes. It had
the champions.
It had Lady Thor. It had Sam as Falcon. It had White
Nova.
It had Vision. And then it had Ms. Marvel, Nova, and one of the other kids.
Spider-Man.
No, Amadeus Cho as Hulk.
Yeah,
and Miles.
And Miles.
Yeah.
And Miles, yeah.
So I think we're moving towards all new, all different, but Kevin Feige said we will not have a new Avengers movie, so
no, not for a while.
That means we're getting a different name, probably Champions, probably.
I'd rather not
Champions. The Defenders.
I like Defenders. Could go Ultimates.
I would rather have a Champions show.
Yeah.
Give us a show. Give us a 9-episode show, as opposed to. A movie would be cool too, but honestly,
we kind of did. It was that Ms. Marvel. It's the Spider-Gwen animated.
Yeah, it was the Secret Warrior show.
Yeah, Secret Warrior show.
I'm talking about a Disney Plus like Marvel like
have a limited run. Just they call it limited run to see how it takes, and then all of a sudden
give us 9 episodes of a Champions team. But other than that, like yes. The Young Avengers, those characters, they're coming. They're being set up in different ways. Like the kid from Falcon and Winter Soldier, Isaiah's grandson.
Yeah,
that's
Patriot.
Patriot. I mean, you got Billy and Tommy right here. You got American Chavez. We got Kate Bishop. Even that kid that Tony had a connection with, that could be set up as
Iron Lad.
Like it's so many different ways they could do it. But the future is on the way here. It's on the way.
Yeah,
it's on the way. Let's go in. So we talked about Wanda and her characterization. We talked about the multiverse and the Illuminati. Let's talk about Strange.
Actually, I don't mean to cut you off. Before we do Strange, do you want to just finish up with the read? Because I did think we wanted to do some fan casting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's fan cast the Fantastic Four. I'll let Casually and Joe, y'all can talk about that because I know y'all had different areas. So we'll start with you, Casually.
So I have obviously John Krasinski coming back alongside his wife, Emily Blunt. Director-wise, because they just lost out on John Watts. Could be anybody, could be Peyton Reed, whatever. But if you really want to get John Krasinski to come back again, why not have him direct? As for Johnny, I know we've had some differing discussion about this before we started recording. Personally, how about Dacre Montgomery, the Red Ranger from the newest Power Rangers movie?
Yeah, I can see that.
And as the Thing, I have Abraham from The Walking Dead himself, Michael Cudlitz.
I can see that. He would be a bigger version of the Thing.
That would be kind of cool.
Isn't he like 6'4", 6'5"?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd be a bigger version.
And then my pitch, as well as Fantastic Four, going into Spider-Man 4, black suit.
As you just hold the hand up, really.
with the glove.
I see what you're doing there.
I say we do black suit. We get Reed to look at it. Peter starts bonding with Johnny. Maybe they go to ESU together. Something along those lines. But that's how we get the Fantastic Four and Peter to start become friendly. Peter maybe starts to trust a little bit of some people again.
Yeah, I can see that. No Way Home. No Way Home makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Joe, who's your fan casting for Fantastic Four?
I mean, the first two are the same. I was gonna go Zac Efron for Johnny, mostly because if he just plays his original casting choice and whatever his name was in High School Musical, it's essentially
Troy Bolton. Yeah,
Troy. Is it Troy?
Troy Bolton, Wildcat leader.
Singer.
Hey,
High School Musical.
Big High School Musical fan here. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to say it.
No, High School Musical.
Shadow be like, we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. Get your head in the game. I can definitely see that. Honestly, if you want to go a more closer, like more recent version, his character in Baywatch.
Yeah, that's what I'm basically going off of. And God, I can never remember his name for the Thing. Ray's brother and Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I gotta think.
Oh, you mean the Cold Cut King right now? That whole commercial? Yeah.
From Jimmy John's. Jimmy's John's.
Oh, yeah. I can see that just for the comedy.
Let me look up.
Man.
Brad Garrett. There you go.
Okay. Brad Garrett.
Yeah, Brad Garrett for the Thing would be great. Because you got to, and I want him to be able to portray up him being Jewish too, on top of just being like that
from
nice blue-eyed boy from Yancey Street.
Yes, I can see that. Will, do you have any fan castings?
Oh damn, y'all took the best ones. Because I was gonna say Zac Efron as Johnny Storm makes perfect sense. I can't see anybody else within that type of halfway seriousness, halfway goofy kind of thing you can go. I did not think about Abraham from Walking Dead as the thing. I'm like, dang, because Michael Chiklis, to me, even though Sony did a terrible job with Fantastic Four, but some of that casting, Michael Chiklis makes it. I'm sorry, Fox. Thank you. Michael Chiklis made it to me as a thing. I'm like, if there's, I can't. It's almost like seeing Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I can't see nobody else playing Deadpool but him. But Abraham, I could see that. The only thing about Sue Storm, I mean, yeah, Emily Blunt could do it. That's a good question.
I think they had great chemistry in the Quiet Place series, especially since obviously they're married in real life.
Here's the thing about that is they can have great chemistry in one genre. That doesn't mean they're going to have great chemistry in every genre because, the Marvel movies, as much as we love them, we will all agree they are very formulaic and they need a certain way for you to act. So that doesn't automatically mean that they are going to work out in that version.
Yeah. But honestly, if you know the story of Sue and Reed, I mean, chemistry, despite the ironicness of it, isn't really there.
I don't want 60.
He focuses on work the most.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, she could have got with Doom, who had money, who had land,
Namor.
And I mean, or Namor, who had a kingdom.
In Life Story, they explore that.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious.
The moment Franklin gets in trouble and Namor just says, like, well, we can make another one. She was gone.
Yeah. I can't see, for me, for casting wise, I don't know who. I mean, there were a couple of. I mean, Kate Mara could probably do it. But
what about Emily Clark?
Emily Clark's another one. Oh,
well,
Amelia Clark
can be the Scroll Queen, anyways, or Janet.
She's doing something in Secret Invasion. So I think she's Queen
Veronica. She's doing the Scroll Queen. We do not kid ourselves with that.
Yeah, she's doing Queen Veronica.
The Scroll Queen.
Yeah.
Or Rachel Taylor. That's another one. I can see Rachel Taylor doing it because she's already blonde. She's proven she can actually have that role, especially because she was wildcatting. She was wildcatting Jessica Jones.
Is Emma Stone close to the same age as John Krasinski?
Say what?
Is Emma Stone close to the same age as John Krasinski?
No.
She just had a kid. I want to say she's in her 30s.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
She just had a kid. Congratulations. I don't know. I don't really want to look at it. I mean, well, that begs the question: is Andrew Garfield in the same age bracket? Because weren't they close in age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my thing with picking Johnny was I wanted to find someone that's roughly around Tom Holland's age because Johnny and Peter are such good friends. I'd like to do even if he's a little older, that's fine because then you could have him like, oh, I came to ESU like a year later or whatever. Like I dropped out and came back.
You still have that camaraderie. It's just you
he's like, I'm older than you by a year. Like I'm better than you, kind of thing.
So, Emma Stone is 9 years younger than John Krasinski. I still think that probably work because Emma Stone's 33 and John Krasinski is 42.
Do you get just Jenna Fisher back? Just dye her hair blonde.
You know what? The opposite of Fantastic Four setting could work.
It just cuts to Reed working on his like technology, like
it could work.
That's something you just call Baxter building. The Baxter Foundation.
Yes.
And you have Steve Carell be the mailman.
Yes.
Love that.
Nope. I take that back. You have Steve Carell be Herbie the robot.
Oh
yes.
Yes. That would be
perfect.
Now, but trying to think of who could play opposite John Krasinski.
The more I think about it, either Rachel Taylor or Emily Blunt.
Who is his love interest?
What about Anna Faris?
Also a good one.
Yeah, because hold on. He was in. Is it Reacher? Is his show that? So it just got canceled.
Yeah.
And they said they're doing a spinoff. Like that just got announced today, actually. Which that's why I just tweeted. I tweeted like a couple hours ago. I was like, Reacher ends. Suddenly, John Krasinski has a lot of free time to film other projects.
Right.
But did he have a love interest in Reacher? If anybody watched it,
interest. It's like it's more like more like fly by night, but let's just call it by that.
Got it. I have to catch up on that. I watched like a couple episodes and it was actually enjoyable.
I digged it. I liked it. And they canceled on Amazon Prime. Damn.
Yeah, I think they either canceled it or said it's over. One of the two, but like it's essentially the same thing.
I liked it. Damn.
But they're doing a spin-off, and they showed a picture of like Krasinski next to Louise. What is it? Michael Pena.
Okay.
So he's in the show, I'm guessing. So it must be a spin-off starring him.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all some excellent fan castings. We're gonna wrap it up with talking about Strange. I mean, this is his movie.
Yeah, of course.
And
no, it wasn't. It was Wanda's movie. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I mean, if you think about it, it's in the same vein as Infinity War. Yeah, that's an Avengers movie, but that was Thanos' movie. Yeah, that was Thanos' movie, and like this was Wanda's, her antagonist. This was her movie. But with Strange characterization and the whole point of, are you happy? Him waking up alone. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, and this like goes back to what I was saying about making that series of like their stories and their arcs. You were in the basically in the running for becoming Sorcerer Supreme. You got blipped because of the choice you made to help save the universe. Mm-hmm. Your best friend, your mentor got it on a technicality, and Strange being Strange, he's gonna be salty about that. I mean, almost anybody would. So that, and then you lose Christine. You're gone for 5 years. Stuff happens. Like everything that he has sacrificed, and they make a big point about it in the movie. I can't be with you. I sacrificed so much to be able to make sure you are safe. Mm-hmm. It's one of the biggest tropes in the hero story, and I think the way they do it with Strange is unique, not just because of this movie is in the whole multiverse thing, but because of what he as a character has to give up a lot of times.
And I think Christine from 838 says it the best.
Yeah.
You always have to be the one
holding the knife.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And so
I did like that. I did like that because that they the whole thing of always have to be lone. You always have to be the one that has to be the tip of the spear. And I was like, we're going straight for that. Well, project. It has to be him no matter what.
Look at what he learned in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
You had to overcome your ego. The Ancient One said, "It's not about you. Learn this." Mm-hmm. And he slowly got there. And this movie was him learning that you have to put faith in other people. Yes, you are one of the most powerful sorcerers on the planet Earth right now. But there's always going to be someone else with a better solution or a different way of doing it that will come out on top. And him learning that and seeing all the other strangers, what they did, doing the same thing, but not falling into it and relying on America instead of like, hey, in the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice is infinite more than your life. Give me your power. Instead of that, it's, hey, kid, you've been controlling your power the entire time. Now it's the time to show it. Putting faith in her, giving her that, like, that was him learning his lesson at that point. And I really liked how they did that and all the little bits and pieces of stuff he learned from 838 Christine, his conversation with Christine in the original timeline. And I really liked that moment because giving her that agency, to stand up for her son. Yes, she's been running around with Strange and being protected the entire time, or only reacting, opening up portals because she's scared. And he told her, like, hey, wake up. You have sent us to every single place we needed to go. It wasn't just random. Maybe the first time you did it with your parents, with your moms, that might have been random, but you have sent us to everywhere we needed to go. Did we need to come to 838 and watch the Illuminati die? Maybe that was fate. It was probably in the grand calculus of the multiverse. They were probably getting too big in their britches, and that they need to die. But here we are, and you have sent us to everywhere we need to go to make everything to this point happen the way it needed to happen, so you can be the one to basically save yourself. And I mean, those were a very long-winded way of saying, stand up and fight for yourself, kid, pretty much.
Oh, no, I get where you're coming from. It's the whole thing of like, yes, we did kind of see it. The Multiverse of Madness was really a tale of two characters. You got a point. I mean, we did see Wanda's descent into madness, and Strange was still hoping that there's still some decency in her. And then at the end of it all, where you see her being the monster she doesn't want to be in front of her kids.
That
part right there was a gut.
That scene, man.
Yeah, I'm not a monster, and the kids are all frightened and whatnot. And she's like
throwing their toys at her.
Yeah, leave our mom alone. Like, oh,
that slow realization that all of a sudden the thing that you don't want to be is the thing that you've become.
Yeah.
What a Mother's Day movie.
Oh God. I just realized that. Oh no.
You know what? On a side note, how do we not see a Happy Mother's Day with the meme right there?
After credit scene. It could have been Bruce Campbell at the end when he was going, "It's over. It's finally over." Could have ended with also, "And Happy Mother's Day."
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised there's not a meme. I'm almost certain half you out there somewhere. But we saw Scarlet Witch kind of have her. I'm not gonna call it redemption. It's like you see the lowest points of yourself, and it's like, do you accept yourself as the monster as you truly are, or do you think that you can be better? And of course, like y'all said from Strange's side, Strange, he always does the good stuff, but is he arrogant? Absolutely. We saw him tick off a Baron Mordo from a different universe. I can see why your Baron might be a little bit. It's like I can see why he's so pissed at you.
Yeah.
But the thing about it always came back down to not having Christine. It's always that level of regret, not having Christine, not being Sorcerer Supreme, and it's just like the whole thing of are you happy? And I love how they tried to use the watch. The watch was so symbolic.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that too.
Fixing it at the end.
Yeah. He finally decides to fix it as a way of fixing himself. I'm like, I see what y'all did. The symbolism of the fact that he never really did get the watch fixed because he's holding on. He's holding on to past guilt. So I dug the fact that Rami and the rest of the screenwriters here, they literally gave us two different stories into one and made it work perfectly.
It worked. And then you see him like, okay, I fixed the watch. I'm gonna walk out in the sunny, bright day and have a good day. And then, bing! And then leading that, so his character's arc, which I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. But before I go into the last little bit, it's already been confirmed by Ben that basically we're not gonna see Strange for a while.
He wants to take a break from acting. He said
he wants to take a break for a while, and then also that actually would help because there's so much more you could tell. Before you finally get into
where he's on, he
just went into a portal.
He's walking one day, and who should pop out?
Clea.
Then his basically future love interest and wife, Clea, played by Charlize Theron, and she's like, "Hey, you caused an incursion. Shut up. Come with me right now."
By the way, another perfect casting, I think. I love Charlize Theron.
Honestly,
How I Met Your Mother across the dark dimension.
Pretty much. So I really liked that setup, and then if he does want to take a break for a while, honestly, he deserves it, and that will actually lead credence to setting up everything else that you want to set up before you finally do Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is not just another Avengers movie. That is a end all be all.
Oh, it's a bigger saga story. It's a bigger story encompassing so much. So you're right.
That is here's all the characters we've had set up that are still alive. Here's some that we can bring back for like a 2 or 3 movie contract to reprise characters in different multiverses. Here's Battle World, and here's John Krasinski like, hey, so Doom, stop it. And switch back, and then we got a brand new. So that's something that needs to be taken. do what you did for basically the Infinity Saga. Take us. If we have another 10 years to get to that point.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm with it.
And there's rumors that like Ben Affleck even said that he was maybe interested in coming back for Secret Wars for just that movie. Same with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I mean, it worked for Infinity Saga. Mm-hmm. I'm here for that long haul storytelling. I'm here for getting all the characters to where you just want them to be just right in their mindset and their characterization. Take them through whatever problems that they need to. So when you get to that point, and we see those multiple versions of those different characters, we see returning actors come back. You know, we give the fans what they wanted for this movie. I want to see Ben Affleck and Hugh Jackman. Finally give them to them so they can shut up.
One out of two.
It'll be that nothing else ever done in the history will be able to top that. Like, that's what I want.
Well, I mean, if you look at the MCU now with the way that they actually do story building, and I'm like, and this is coming from a DC fan. I look at Warner Brothers and I'm like, and I said the same thing after Morbius. I said, look, here's what you guys need to do. You guys need to get with whoever is the screenwriting team for the MCU, get some suggestions, probably do some collaborations, and your movies will be better. I mean, in the same sense where DC can learn from Marvel, Sony can learn from Marvel. Sony's like, well, we can do our own Spider-Man universe. No, you can't.
Hey guys, stop. I'm gonna make an El Muerto movie. What do you think?
Who? No.
2 issues. Two issues.
So I'm gonna edit that and I'm gonna add Korag. Who? What? And so, but yeah, like, honestly, with the way DC is going and everything that's going to happen when we finally eventually get it after the whole shuffling with Flashpoint or the Flash movie, yeah, I know.
You mean the Superman movie featuring the Flash?
Yeah, that is another restart moving, and honestly, after that point, get you a Kevin Feige.
Yeah, Discovery just bought out WB. They said they want to get Kevin Feige.
Get you a Kevin Feige. Maybe not Jeff Johns. Maybe someone else.
Here's the problem. Here's the one problem. Whoever is going to take it, Warner Brothers cannot interfere.
Ding, 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 ding. He said
Warner Brothers cannot interfere.
Well, Discovery cannot interfere.
I'm sorry. Discovery. Warner. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's getting used. I got used to saying this.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Discovery cannot interfere because if you're going to have full trust, because Disney/Marvel didn't interfere with Kevin Feige, they didn't interfere with the Infinity Saga. They let him run. They let him run wild with it. The DCU is going to be the same way. If someone,
it has to be.
I know. I've been applying. I've been saying, look, give it to me. I'm nobody.
Man,
I love Jim Lee. Jim Lee would be great.
Oh, yeah.
But here's my pitch, because I don't want somebody that is just like only a director, because that's what everybody's been saying. Is that they only want a movie director because they know how movies are made or whatever.
No,
I want some of that feeling. Although Kevin Feige isn't a director, I want some of that feeling of let's give it to some people who know how to make certain genres of movies, because then you get like a Matt Reeves where they say, okay, you know how to make that type of movie. We're going to give you a Batman movie to do detective noir. You do this type of movie, you're going to do Superman. Yeah. That's why I would say director partially. That's why I'm biased, but Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith has said this, and he said the same thing. He says, I would love to do The Flash. The problem is he said he was being very nice when he said it on his Fat Man podcast. He said, if I was ever going to do one aside from Green Lantern, obviously the second one I would do is The Flash. I've written an episode and directed for The Flash. It was great for CW, but here's the problem. I'm being very nice. It was too many talking heads during the screenwriting that they gave me the green light on and trusted me fully that I still had to present this to boardrooms of people I've never heard of just to get the green light to add one thing in a script, mind you, that I had full reign on. So he goes, he's there saying, so the whole entire time, imagine you have to go through 8 to 10 meetings for one thing on an hour-long show. Can you imagine trying to do the same thing on a movie?
Which is why you give him full control.
Right. Which is why what he was saying. He said he didn't say Warner Brothers. He didn't say Warner Brothers at the time was but we knew. He's like, certain heads in there are going to prevent me from doing what I want to do with it. And if I don't have full control, I don't want to do it. And I can't knock the guy because Kevin Smith, in my mind, is perfect for The Flash. He's perfect for Green Lantern because he has directed movies. But here's the beautiful thing about it. He also knows the comic book lore, which again, Matt Reeves, for all intents and purposes, I love his take on the Batman. I love his take on Batman. I love his take on how he made Colin Farrell to be like one of the most really scene stealers as far as him playing, not even playing the Penguin, but playing just Cobblepot.
Unrecognizable.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, and don't get me wrong, I love the fact of how the Riddler was played. I love the fact of how they slick threw in Joker at the end because Joker really wasn't a part of it, but he was always hanging around, and how Gotham actually became a character of a town of characters to itself versus just the villains and the hero we know. So if you can find directors like that, I mean, I would say I forgot the guy who did the Guy Ritchie, who did The Gentleman. If I was going to let anybody do Constantine, I would let Guy Ritchie do it because his dialogue, his take on certain things, that's his way of multiple cameras and different angles. He'd be perfect for a Constantine / Hellblazer movie.
Yeah. Who did I'm trying to remember who did the Kingsman movies? Is that Matthew Vaughn?
Yeah.
Him doing a Green Arrow movie.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yes,
that would be amazing to watch.
His cinema style with Kingsman, I could see that for Green Arrow. I could actually see that really for a multitude of movies. If they ever did a Booster Gold, like me and Joe talked about, they have a perfect opportunity to do a Booster Gold / Blue Beetle kind of movie to introduce them, and that'd be freaking perfect.
And they're already talking about making the Blue Beetle movie with Jaime.
That is in.
That's talking about actually changing it to theatrical instead of HBO Max.
Yeah, because that deal's winding up. The Warner Bros. Got their money. Warner Bros. Got their money from HBO Max because, again, that was kind of during the pandemic, so you were kind of hedging your bets. Like, we can't get you to the movie theaters. We'll get you on subscriptions on the kickbacks. So I get that to a certain point, but now that the world is kind of slowly getting back to somewhat productivity, everything's going back to movie theaters. But I believe
Batgirl is still theatrical. HBO Max though.
Yeah, it's still every movie outside of every movie, including Black Adam, will still be on HBO Max up until the end of this year. Because I think the deal ends. I think the deal ends this year, and then it's all bets are off in 2020.
I thought they said that they were going to do Batgirl as HBO Max. I could be wrong.
If it is it's still a safe bet. If they do HBO Max, it's a safe bet. Just because I want to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly so bad. I want it. I never wanted such a guy to succeed, especially after Doom Patrol. After what he did in Doom Patrol, I so want to see him as Firefly in the Batgirl movie and in the roles that he's getting now because he did Robot Man just awesome in my opinion. I don't think there's no other way you could have done that. But again, like I said, it goes back to whoever is going to helm the DCU. Let them handle the movie side as well as television. It has to be because you have to have I hate to use a Marvel term. You have to have a nexus point. If you don't have a nexus point,
synergy.
You don't have a nexus point with the cinematic universe along with the television universe, which was one of DC's biggest faults, was never combining the two, which was still weird to me because Stephen Amell would have done great as Green Arrow on the movies. Grant Gustin would have done great as the Flash on the movies.
Although I would have preferred a blonde Barry Allen, but yeah.
They could have done it. I mean, but but then again, they could have really redid not Superman and Lois, because Superman and Lois is awesome right now. Yes. But
it's perfect.
I'd fix the suit a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mix of that.
Widen the neck.
Yeah.
Make the logo bigger. Add the trunks because I'm a trunks guy.
But it's not bad though. But it's just like, whoever is going to, because I know they're going to get a central person for the DCU eventually. But it has to be somebody where Warner Brothers Discovery cannot. It's like I wish they would trust whoever the next person is going to bring in. They have to trust them the same way they trust Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
even though that was a mistake. But still,
I agree. I'll admit I am not the biggest Zack Snyder fan. So.
No, I can't. I mean, I loved his 300 movie, but Batman.
That's probably the only movie I really liked from him.
But no, the way he did, I will say this: Army of Thieves and Army of Thieves, not the first one, Army of Zombies, or whatever that is.
Army of the
I
Dead.
hated the first one, but the prequel, Army of Thieves, for some odd reason, was exceptionally great. But the movie he gave with Dave Bautista was trash. I don't know why. It's the same director, but no, the way he did Batman vs Superman had influence on Suicide Squad and influence on Wonder Woman and influence, and I want to say he did have a producer credit on Shazam. I'm not really sure about that, but you can tell. Say what?
Well, them not having a cohesive hey, this is what I've done with the character. Take it for your thing, but here's the bits and pieces that need to stay for what's coming later. Them not having
that's what
that.
Even Marvel when they were doing non-trailers for their after credit scenes, they would get the director for the next movie to come in just to film one scene for that thing. So what was it? Ragnarok. Was it the Ragnarok director filmed the after credit scene, or was it?
Yeah, because it was part of his movie.
Yeah.
Because with Doctor Strange, was that Scott Derrickson though, or was
that was
Taika?
That was
Takeda.
That
guy.
Yeah,
I can never pronounce his name, but it was that guy.
Taika Waititi.
Thank you. I of all the names I never can pronounce, I can't pronounce that one. But but that one though, that's what I'm saying. If you look at not to stay on DC, but I mean, look at how they treated Shazam. Shazam was so protected. Aquaman was so protected.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was protected. You could tell. I mean, Wonder Woman, the first one was protected. 84 had Geoff Johns attached to it, and that went south. Take it from there. How do you feel about that? That's
the problem with the whole non-connectivity thing, because it's been established in Justice League, which came out before your movie came out, that Wonder Woman cut herself off for century, like for a while.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense that people in the 80s would know who she is or have seen her around. It would not. It just doesn't make sense that you didn't follow what was there. And I get it. Your own adaptation, fine, but all you had to do, 80s culture and 80s color palettes and all stuff, that's popular right now.
Yeah.
It's very popular. All you had to do was put it in the modern day time and give it that 80s aesthetic. You've been fine. You didn't have to put it in the actual 80s.
But that's the thing about it. Like you said, there was no continuum. There was no continuum from the movies, and then you try to have a big old mashup at the end. You try to have Justice League, and I'm like, I can 85% blame Snyder for this. The rest of it I blame on Warner Brothers, because they were looking at it as a cash grab. They were looking at it as like, let's have all our top heroes in this movie, and let's just bastardize this script to where it's like, we're gonna bring in Steppenwolf. I said no, and then the Snyder fanboys came out and whined and complained and bitched and moaned until they got the Snyder cut. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Snyder,
and that Snyder cut could have been cut by like an hour.
That Snyder cut could have been cut in half, as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? But here's the thing about it though. I was like, Snyder has one last shot to redeem himself. And I'm thinking to myself, the Snyder cut, here's your shot. Your last at bat. You swing and miss. That's it. All you have to do the one thing that would completely redeem you. Make Darkseid your main character. Forget Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Had he done, despite the 4-hour bloated movie, had he just put in Darkseid, and put in Darkseid as the fighting new god that we know him to be, the fact that you had an R rating, which means that you could have went nuts with this, and the fact that you could have redeemed yourself in the eyes of DC and said, I can make a comic book movie, you didn't.
Yeah,
you made Steppenwolf spiky and shiny. It's like having a Pokemon with aluminum foil. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh god, I felt like Obi-Wan at the end of episode 3. You were the chosen one. You could have saved us. You could got help. You got
Yeah. No, I absolutely feel that. Honestly, this conversation can go on for a good while. Honestly, it might be one of the later episodes because I mean it's so much we can just talk about what DC did wrong, what they should have done.
That'll be a documentary series.
Yeah, that's a 2-hour episode.
Where DC went wrong.
What DC went wrong. But overall, I want everyone to go through real quick and just give their out of 10 ranking for Multiverse of Madness.
I still got thoughts on Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah.
Hey, we didn't even talk about.
We didn't talk about the other
the music fight.
Oh, yeah. As a piano player, as a musician, I am in love with that scene.
I'm a musician as well. I play guitar.
It is so cool seeing that. That was the coolest thing, man. I was in the theater like, oh snap! I recognize that chord. I recognize. Oh snap! Like it was so freaking cool, dude.
That's why you get Danny Elfman.
Yes. So all the different Stranges and their characterization,
and that ours. Fight led to.
Yeah, we've got ours, and we've got our our arrogant but still heroic. Then you got the Defender Strange, who was willing to sacrifice a child for the Calculus multiverse. We got Sinister Strange, which I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad they didn't make him Strange Supreme.
I thought it was gonna be
because
that's what I thought too. All from the trailers.
Because one, our Strange wouldn't have survived. Let's just
that would have been done.
Yeah, and two, I feel like they're setting up for more with him and whatever season 2, whatever. So having those different Stranges, seeing the connective tissues between all of them, but also seeing those slight differences and how they actually played out. Honestly, this was the best Strange has been in a good while, and Benedict actually definitely deserves his break after this. Joe, you had something you want to talk about Strange real quick?
Oh yeah, no, there's a bunch I was going to talk about. Like, I enjoyed that this film took a look at what happiness means to somebody, and what it meant to him, and we never quite got that resolution for himself, and I think that's something he's still looking because he understands. Across all the multiverses, he never gets the one he wants to be with.
Right.
Which is why they probably introduced Cleo, or as I just call her, Mrs. the Doctor Strange.
Who is also, for those that don't know and are listening, is the niece of Dormammu.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know if that makes her the sister of Doyle or the aunt of Doyle.
If it's his niece.
Well, we don't know what side of the family she's on and what side of the family he's on. I'm going to go
with the latter.
So, anyways, along with that, the piano fight, I really wanted to be Night on Bald Mountain that they were using each other against with.
Considering we had Wundagore Mountain.
So, Night on Bald Mountain actually did appear in the movie, but it wasn't during that. It was, I can't remember what scene it was.
It was the scene where they come up on the house, I believe.
Yes.
Which the house at first I thought was the house of the one who was basically Kang's house from when they first came up on that Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, it looked so different.
So huge and corrupt. It's like, are they at Mortanus's house?
That's a lot.
I am seeing a lot of people, and I mean even big name comic book reviewers, go after is the fact that Strange is still not Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they're so hung up on that.
Yeah.
In the MCU, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
It really does.
In the comics, it doesn't really mean anything either for the most part, right? Because that goes around so much recently.
It's a title that does rank significance of you are the Wizard of Wizards. But in the MCU, specifically the MCU, the title was granted to those that could protect the Time Stone.
Yeah.
Now that the Time Stone is no longer a factor,
it's just
that title means nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. You get access to like extra books.
Decisions.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, if we're going based off power level, he is Sorcerer Supreme in power level alone.
I still debate that because we don't know what the heck Wong can really do at this
True.
point.
Is there a way? I mean,
survive levels high.
Well, yeah,
I trust what Marvel's doing, but out of curiosity, is there a way he can become the Sorcerer Supreme without killing Wong off?
No. I mean,
no, yeah, there is.
Well, I mean,
you can go appeal to the Ashanti and go like, "Hey, I can do better than Wong."
If they
Wong can't just give it to him.
No,
I mean, Wong can also go to the Ashanti and go, "I don't want the title, give it to Strange."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so, like,
honestly,
there are ways around that because, like, even in the book, Doom rolls up on Clea. It's like, "I want the title of Sorcerer Supreme." And Clea's like, "Oh, you sweet child, please tell me what you did for us during all these magical attacks, other than sit on your ass in Latveria." What will you tell the Ashanti of your deeds that deem you worthy of this title? And he's like, "I'll be back."
That part was still
second.
That was hilarious. But yeah,
I don't understand why people are so hung up. I mean, even if he gets the title Sorcerer Supreme, he's not going to go to Carmitage and sit on his butt and do stuff.
No,
he's a New Yorker. He's going to park his butt over in a coffee shop.
And he's still the master of the New York Sanctum. So I mean, if you want to give him a
Mm-hmm.
title, that's title enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, people are just gonna.
It's just I understand.
I mean, he defeated the souls of the damned. So
Doctor Strange, but in the grand scheme of things, only for the MCU. Being Sorcerer Supreme means jack crap now because
so what you're saying
have Infinity Stone.
Is in the grand calculus of the MCU. His title sacrifice means infinitely more than the title he has.
Yes.
the greater good. The greater good.
Always having to hold the knife.
I absolutely get that.
I mean, he just gets the third eye of the Ashanti, even though they're saying, "Well, yeah, it's the Dark One." It's like, has the third eye of the Ashanti. Don't mess with me on this.
Yeah.
Clea just stands there, which they do a great. God, I love that the MCU has absolutely zero issue now with giving them comic accurate costumes.
Yeah.
Like
I saw that pig. I was like, yes.
All get out. But it's like, well, this is accurate. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just get the gloves though? I want Strange to get the gloves back.
It's like, I think it's from Shinesman. It's like, Strange, get into the glowing green square.
I think that was a choice that Tiger did just for that movie alone, just to be more accurate. But I mean, if the actors want to do it, fine. And we might get another multiverse Strange that does have the gloves.
But I mean, let me ask you: at what point did Marvel stop worrying about not giving comic accurate costumes? Was it actually Ragnarok?
Maybe it was like Ultron because like Cap got the more accurate suit with the white in between his glove and his.
Yeah,
I'd say more Age of Ultron than Ragnarok.
I want to say Age of Ultron as well
because everybody was like so worried about not having comic accurate costumes, and then all of a sudden they're just like, "Oh, we could do goofiness, and people still see it." Because
Ultron gave us purple Hawkeye more, right?
Yeah.
No.
It was
Civil War.
Civil War gave us more purple Hawkeye.
So I think that's where it really dove in was Civil War.
I mean, honestly, you have those more like ultimate vibes where it's the more black than purple, but you still get purple accents.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, and people who just trip over the cold comic accurate thing, for a long time before modern days, those comic accurate outfits wouldn't necessarily work.
Right? Yeah, we've seen Steel. We've all seen Steel.
Yeah, exactly. so and what they fail to realize is, for what they're seeing now, is a lot of the comic accurate outfits you're seeing in the movies are being transferred over to the comics. Facial features, comic book style, like the outfits from the shows, like they're being transferred. They're being slowly put in bit by bit in different areas into the comics. The one true transfer that was perfect, I gotta say, was Falcon's outfit.
Yeah.
That was a perfect rendition.
Or
except
in
for
this
the fully
case,
red wings.
the comic accurate costume is a point in their life. As we see in the Love and Thunder trailer, we see Teenage Thor in
That was so hype.
Yes.
Golden Age Thor.
That was so hype.
I don't know. I always say they always worry about comic book accurate costumes. The only reason I say that because eventually everybody wants to see Rogue.
Yeah.
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 We want to see Southern
No,
97
let's be straight.
Or do you want to go Evolution and go a little Southern Goth?
No, let's just be straight and honest here. Everybody just wants to see Rogue on Muir Island.
Yes.
No one gives a crap about anything else.
Exactly.
We just want to see Rogue on Muir Island.
Yep.
You guys can have that. I want to see Savage Land Rogue.
Ooh, that's gonna be a Marvel After Dark scenario.
Don't give me no ideas. Don't give me no ideas. It's already on the list.
Which is probably the most dangerous of the rogues, except the rogue that does a reverse power bomb into the ceiling.
Right.
I remember that was such a. Okay, so if you don't know what you're talking about, Joe, tell them what issue that's in.
That is in issue 9 or 8 of Jerry Duggan's X-Men run that's going on right now. Where
just look up
Rogue
that picture
just
alone.
Reverse power drive somebody into the ceiling.
No, I'm putting on the screen right now.
The literal shot. The literal. How can I put this there so nicely? The scene, describing it doesn't do it as much justice as seeing it.
I'm gonna show it on the screen right now. Magic, poof, there it is.
Here, let me pull it up.
So, but yeah, no, it's really cool, and I'm honestly really excited for what they're going to do with Strange and Clea going forward. Let's go ahead. I want everyone to give their rankings, and I think we might have to push Moon Knight discussions to another episode because we're kind of pushing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want, along with our ratings, how about we kind of give just a very brief synopsis of what we think could be going forward with Strange?
Yes.
It's Doctor Strange 3 or something?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very brief. So we'll start with Will.
All right. I gotta give the movie a 9 out of 10. It is about as best as a Marvel horror movie as we're going to get. It was perfectly done. It wasn't long. I think it fit the time for what it needed to run. And I think from here, like I said, I think we're going to go into the current Sorcerer Supreme run right now. Well, sort of. Not the current run. We're going to the one before that because I think it is going to eventually lead. And I hate to say this, I think they're going to start teasing Strange's death because Clea was already introduced. So that tells me that there probably will be death for Doctor Strange, and Clea will probably take the role. What do you say, Jeff?
No, there's probably 2 things. We're either getting the Oath. Three things. I take that back. Excuse me. The Oath, the Death of Magic, or the Death of Doctor Strange.
Which is the one where Strange becomes a veterinarian and has a floating dog ghost?
They better add bats. He is like the best new addition to that cast.
Yes.
Especially with his outright love of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yes.
You're a real hero.
Like, it's not meant. A real superhero is like bats. You live with me. You met the Avengers last week. Yeah, but Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I agree with the charming dead dog.
I like this dog.
Oh god. That's my ranking.
Yeah. So Joe, what's your rating and your this?
This is probably in like my top 10. I mean, I'm not gonna say this is my top 5, but this is definitely in my top 10 for enjoyment. I just like a good spoopy comedy horror movie. Of course, I'm also one of those weirdos where in my top 5 is New Mutants. So, but I'm also biased. I will always say that. When I'm biased about something, I will outright admit it. That way, no one can say it's like, well, he's biased. Like, well, here I'm biased.
Yes. And
no, it's definitely my top 10.
Yeah. Casual.
So I want to preface mine by saying I don't do this for every movie. The last 3 movies I've done this, both the Batman, No Way Home, and this movie. I got to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. It's just everything just adds up for me. I love the story, the camera work. I'm a film geek, so like, and Raimi's probably in my top 5 directors of all time, and seeing him come back to the superhero genre and giving that horror feel that he's known for, and the camera movements that's swinging through like the Evil Dead, everything that, and the colors, the costumes, the music overtones, just everything worked for me. So that's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Same thing for No Way Home and The Batman. But I promise I do not give every movie a 10 out of 10. I do need to watch it again, though. I've only seen Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness once. So usually I have a better grasp of things second time around. But No Way Home and The Batman I've seen twice. And the first time I saw it, I gave it a 10 out of 10. And it's still a 10 out of 10. As for what I want to see going forward with Doctor Strange 3, I'd love for them to introduce Nightmare. That'd be really fun. Or have him battling Dormammu, or maybe we get some Mephisto. I know Mephisto's kind of hard because of what's going on in the world where movies get banned in some places. We already just saw it with this movie, just for like, 15 seconds of a movie. They were like, we're banning it in this country. But but I think China is very against the devil being in movies, so that it'll be banned there.
So is most of America.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna go see it either way. I would love to see Mephisto.
All right.
He will never appear. He will never appear.
And with that being said,
Blackheart before we get Mephisto.
Oh God, Blackheart.
So, Shadow, I'll pass it back to you.
So I'm actually inclined to agree with Casual. I would give this a 10 out of 10. I'm actually planning on doing a ranking video later, like for the MCU, just up to date. But I went in expecting. This is the one reason why I don't do like theory videos or I want this to happen, because I want to just go in knowing what I know about the history, the MCU, about some characters popping up. Honestly, watching WandaVision right before going to see this made my enjoyment of what they did to Wanda so much better. And that's honestly why I say this is a 10 out of 10, because knowing that WandaVision set the precedent for what she was going to be, Loki giving birth to the multiverse, and then what they did with What If. And basically, even Kevin Feige said in the interview that the Loki's tampering with He Who Remains allowed a spell to go wrong in No Way Home, which allowed this movie to fully break into the multiverse and cause madness. Just having him finally fully confirm that those 3 instances were all together. And I would even go as far as saying Wanda fully accepting herself as the Scarlet Witch and becoming that nexus point. All of those moments happening simultaneously, giving birth to the multiverse. All of that is what lets me give this movie a 10 out of 10. And then the twist that we've got with the characters that we knew were coming, the ones we didn't know were coming, the direction, the horror elements. There's just so much going for this movie that there is against it.
Yeah.
And that's why I would give it a 10 out of 10. Now, what I actually would like to see, considering what they did with her taking Strange and say, hey, incursions, you caused it, come with me. I want Doctor Strange 3 to be Doctor Strange and the Illuminati, because he's seen what it can do, and we know how Strange does. He would try to go through the MCU as best he could to recruit, some people that would be able to help with that. Build
the
his own
616 Illuminati.
Yeah. Build his own Illuminati, and their sole purpose, along with Clea, is to do their best and try to be morally, in the right to stop the incursions from happening, and that will lead right into, like, Doctor Strange 3, whatever it is, needs to be the last movie before Secret Wars. Nothing else in between it. It needs to be Doctor Strange 3, and then hell, give us a year in between. But Doctor Strange 3 and then Secret Wars. Nothing else in between, nothing extra. That's what it needs to be because that setup will kind of follow it in the comics with like no time left or whatever, and everything that happened in there leading right into Secret Wars 2015 issue 0 and going back and forth. So that's why I said all of this gives me a 10 out of 10. That's what I want to see. Yeah, for those who've been watching, we really appreciate you guys. We clearly had a lot more to say about Multiverse of Madness and the direction of both this universe and DC. We have a lot to say about that. So we're going to save talking about Moon Knight for like a maybe special extra third episode this month. It's only going to be 2 episodes this month, but we may try to get in there. Because honestly, that deserves an entire episode on its own, to truly be honest. With that being said, guys, thank you all for being here for the maiden voyage of Freaks and Geeks Podcast. There's a lot that this show is going to offer. I don't remember if I said it up top, but like I said, this show will focus not just on the geeky side of pop culture, but also dealing in the freaky and, you know, giving a platform for sex workers to both talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and giving all of us, because honestly, it all intertwines more than we actually think it does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a perfect example of that, to truly be honest.
Go ahead and come brag, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead and come brag.
There you go. There's your picture.
But yeah, so with that being said, this is just the beginning. If we do it right, the next episode will be a mini episode about Moon Knight. Probably won't be a full hour long. But the next official episode will be episode 1 of Obi-Wan at the end of the month.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
So I'm very, very excited for that. And then after that, we'll get into a different schedule. If you are watching this and you notice that, yes, this is not live. This is a recorded podcast. My schedule does not allow me to do live episodes. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, technically we could have done this live, but I rather would have focus on editing and making sure it's come out crisp, cutting out what needs to be cut out, and adding stuff to add to the madness and chaos that is us, the 4 of us talking like we do, just off the rip. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you guys watched, do all the things, like, comment, subscribe. Everybody in this chat's links will be in the description box below. Links to the Get Bit podcast, Straight Out of the Box podcast, all Instagram, all Twitch, everything that they do will all be linked in the description box below. Go follow, go support. We are all local to Nashville, Tennessee. We all support each other. We all support our friends. We are fully here to support local artists, and that's what we do best. So
finally, somebody will watch my Relayer gameplays.
Yes, go watch his Relayer gameplays.
Somebody watch me play Pretty Moon Sailor Gundam.
If you want to laugh, and as you can see, Will is a perfect example. If you
Joe does this on purpose. That's all.
If you want to have a good time watching somebody playing games and just laugh your ass off.
So this is a lie. Just to let you know now, I'm actually very quiet when I play my video games. Like, if you see me ever play Elden Ring, it will be 45 minutes of silence. I died twice. It's like, oh, I need to roll forward and a little bit more to the left. And then another 45 minutes of silence. And then it's like, oh, I need to cast that spell now. Okay.
And then maybe one slip of son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, I really don't curse that much.
Yeah. But,
by the way, the picture's up.
Yeah. So,
if you want to share the picture, it's in there.
You have to share. You have to add his add Joe's window to it to share it.
All right. Let's see. Still getting used to this.
I mean, I'll send you the page alone, but the window's up. No, let me think. What else am I doing right now? Oh, I reloaded Street Fighter.
Oh,
there you go.
There's worse ways to die.
There you go.
Reverse.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I had to say it. Somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say it.
Oh man.
I mean,
yeah. It's great. It's that's so good. But
again, worst ways to die.
But yeah, with that all being said, guys, thank y'all, Will, Nick, Joe. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate that.
A pleasure.
And can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to have many more very long-winded discussions about things that need to go right, things that should have been done better, and things that should have just never been done in the first place. Wonder Woman 84. And with that being said, I'm Shadow.
I'm Shadow King. I am casually cosplaying.
I'm BlackBox447.
Where it all went wrong was Steel.
We'll get there.
Where it all went wrong.
We'll get there.
Where it all went wrong was Captain America, the 1970s movies.
Oh God.
All
right.
Now, where it all went right was Trial of the Incredible Hulk, because that's still one of the best Daredevils.
He's not wrong.
Oh man.
And that's a video for another time. This has been Freaks Geeks Podcast. Make sure you check out the upcoming magazines coming with this, because this is a dual pair. There will be a magazine coming out very soon. And yeah, I'm glad to be back on YouTube. It's been a while. So that's it. Goodbye. I'm done. Stop talking. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Ah!
Time for cake.
I mean, I've been eating cheesecake the entire time, so you know.
He's running on sugar at the moment.
Really, yeah.
That man's running on sugar and butter.
All right, guys. Peace.
See?
Oh, I didn't do it. Hang on.
We can't see the eye.
I was like,
there you go.
Yeah.
I missed. Damn it. I missed out.
I'll reverse time.